your character. These are the things that define your beauty far more than any physical trait ever could. Do not lay the foundations of your life on beauty. It's not enough. It never will be. I don't even think it makes up 5% of what you need to lead a successful life. It will only get you so far. And that is the reality of it. Hi community, welcome back to Acupfulll. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have been well and taking good care of yourself, and even if you haven't been well and you're going through it, I hope you've been just doing your best in terms of taking care of yourself. You know, I've mentioned 2 episodes ago or an episode ago that I was really having a very, very tough time. Life was looking quite bleak and I was feeling hopeless. I'm going to be so honest with you. I was questioning everything from whether the things that I have asked God for are actually ever going to materialize, to is he angry at me or is he ignoring me? I've had a million thoughts running through my mind every single day for the past few weeks. And what I'm so grateful for is there isn't once where God has left me in a place of lack. I've had everything that I have needed. I have had love, actually everything I've needed and so much more. I've had lots of love and support, and I am feeling so much better. So that's the update for this week, that I'm feeling a lot better. Life is not looking so bleak. I am not feeling as hopeless. I am not feeling like my life is at a standstill and I don't have any control over that. I continue to give everything to God, and I'm grateful that I can. And I also just want to remind you that it's so normal to have days, weeks, sometimes for other people months, where you feel like you're in a rut. It's okay to not be doing so great. It's okay to not be okay. And I just want to remind you that you need to create space for yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. I'm somebody that always encourages that as much as life goes on, despite the situation you're in, that shouldn't take away from the fact that you're feeling what you're feeling and that you should continue to create space for yourself. So create that space, make that space for yourself, feel whatever it is that you are feeling. And also don't make the mistake of sitting on social media, scrolling, comparing yourself to other people. It's going to send you into an even further downward spiral. So what I will say to you is that give yourself time, give yourself space, confide in your support system, ask for support, pray, lay it all at God's feet, ask him that he would hold you and strengthen you. And sometimes it will be in the form of an Our Father prayer. Sometimes it will be in the form of a worship song. Sometimes it will just be sitting in silence. Because I know I've had a very difficult time praying over the last few weeks, opening my Bible, just staying optimistic. So I know how it feels. But as long as you continue to ask him for strength and you keep forging forward, even though you don't have much forging forward to do, or that you don't have it in you, keep forging forward. I don't know how long it will take. I don't know when it will be, but I know that the sun will shine again. And that's just something that I want you to keep with you. Okay? Keep it very close to you and remind yourself every single day that it's not always going to be like this. And yeah, I also understand that I've just got to wait on him and continue to have faith in him. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm grateful that even though I'm still waiting for certain prayers to be answered, even though there are things that I'm still waiting for, he's still good, he's still loving, he is still my father, his character does not change. Okay? And then just on this time, it is a highlight of my week, right? I realized something in a moment. I was having a disagreement with my brother, and about 10 to 15 minutes later, I went back to him and I apologized for how I handled the situation. And then I expressed that it hurt me, the way he approached it, how he spoke to me. and we apologized to each other and we moved forward. And that was a highlight for me because it has not always been like this in my family. We have had to work very hard and fight very hard to rewire our brains in terms of how we speak to each other, conflict resolution, effective communication, etc. And seeing the fruits of the work that we have put in, the labor that we have put in and that we continue to put in, is something that was truly a highlight for me. It was so beautiful to witness me and my brother saying to each other, and he's only 18 by the way, saying to each other, sorry, not getting defensive, not trying to make the other person look bad, not manipulating or gaslighting, but just coming to each other with pure hearts and good intentions and showing ourselves in that way. And I thank God for that. I thank him so much. I am so grateful that out of what was once pain and just so much difficulty, strife, and also division, has come out such a beautiful, strong connection and relationship between myself, my siblings, my mom. And again, praise be to the Lord. So that was a highlight of my week. No lesson, just the highlight. And that is something that had me smiling from ear to ear. All right, getting into the meat of this week's episode, the thick of things. I want to have a real conversation about beauty, self-perception, and the way society shapes how we see ourselves. So I need you to get a drink, get a snack, just please get comfortable, because I want us to be vulnerable, and I want you to also ask yourself some questions, like be curious, probe, wonder. Don't be afraid for your mind to go there. All right. I struggled as a teenager a lot with my looks, with my beauty. I thought I was ugly. I believed my looks weren't good enough. I compared myself to unrealistic standards. And we know that the unrealistic standards are often created and reinforced by the media, social expectations, and even casual comments from people around me, right? And even casual comments from people around us, family members, strangers. It's wild how a stranger can have something to say about your looks. I would just be too embarrassed. I just never understand how somebody else has the audacity to comment on someone else's skin. You know, those people that will give you unsolicited advice on your skin, especially if you are acne prone. Do you eat too much chocolate? Do you eat too much peanut butter? Aren't you drinking enough water? I'm just like, whoa, that is not the kind of audacity I want to have. That is so wild. And so those are some of the things that shaped the idea that I wasn't pretty enough for me in my head. And it took me years to realize that these thoughts just weren't facts. They were opinions that were shaped by society, media, and even my own insecurities. And I will also say I did not hear "you are beautiful" a lot in my household growing up. It's not something that I heard. It was not a normal thing. And obviously there is an impact that it will have. A child that hears "you're beautiful, you're worth it, you are deserving" is more likely to have much stronger confidence, much stronger foundation of confidence, like a very high self-esteem. And that was not something that I was used to hearing. So I obviously then looked to what society was saying. I looked to what strangers were saying, and that became the foundation upon which I laid my idea of beauty, right? And so I didn't think of myself as beautiful because I didn't look like what society was saying should be beautiful. I didn't fit into that mold. And it really, really affected my self-confidence. It affected how I saw myself. It affected how I interacted with myself, and even how I allowed people to interact with me. I remember in high school, one day this girl said to me, "Oh my gosh, your lips are so big. They look like fish lips." And that tore me apart. It absolutely broke my heart. And it's interesting that today big lips are what every woman wants. Women are going to plastic surgeons to go and get filler. So we're going to get into it, but also beauty trends are always changing. And that's why it's just not a good idea to always follow them at all, in my opinion. Now that I'm a lot older and I understand things better, and I look at myself and I see beauty, and also just where that comes from, the foundation upon which it is laid now, I can say for absolute certain, with all the confidence in the world, that following beauty trends is never a good idea. They fluctuate, they change. It's this in this decade, it's that in another decade. We went from being in a BBL era to being in an era where the natural look is more attractive. That's where we're at now. Women with small waists and big bums are obviously still 100% attractive. I just think that whether you have a small waist and a big bum or not, you are still beautiful as you are. And yes, that is the hill I'm going to die on, as the hill that I'm standing on, and I'm not moving from it. They are beautiful, and that will never change. It's just not so trendy anymore. Celebrities are, they've removed, a lot of them have removed their, what is it called? Silicone implants, whatever it's called. And so I just don't think it's a good idea to rely on that so much. Also, something else. When I was 17 years old, so in 2013, I was involved in a very strange, call it a freak accident. I was involved in a car accident, a freak accident, and I fractured my nose, right? And I also just cracked a few bones or certain parts in my face because of the impact was so strong. And I did not like my nose before. And so this happened, and then I was devastated because I still didn't like how my nose looked. I was just not in a great place with myself, self-esteem wise. And so my nose breaks, and they obviously can't do anything about it. The doctor then informs me, once he operated on me, because he needed to operate me so that my nose wouldn't stay in the same position as it was in. It was sort of, I looked like I had been punched in the face, and my nose had been punched into my face. I don't know if that makes sense. I hated it. I was devastated. So he fixed that, and he said to me, if you want your nose to go back to normal, or you want a new nose, you can get a rhinoplasty. That's the process where they're going to reconstruct your nose. And for years after that, I wanted a rhinoplasty so bad because I thought I looked ugly. I thought I was ugly. And I'm not even joking when I say it. I did not like myself. I said to myself, I want to get a BBL. I want to get lipo. I want to get a breast reduction. I want to do all of these things on my body because those are the things that will make me look beautiful. But lo and behold, we are in an era now where those things are not the in things anymore. And I probably would have had a lot of regrets had I had the opportunity to get those things done. So I'm glad I didn't. But what I'm getting to here is a lot of what I looked like, how I looked, was really based on what other people thought of me, whether they believed I was beautiful or not, what magazine covers were putting on the front pages, what I was seeing in newspapers. You know, sometimes when I was growing up, sometimes you would see Mzansi's most sexiest or most beautiful woman. I didn't look like that. And then reading articles and just seeing how men interacted with, well, not men, well, I was too young, but seeing how guys were interacting with girls that did not look like me versus how they would interact with me, which also very rarely happened because, you know, apart from the fact that I was not conventionally attractive or beautiful, just in my high school days, in my university days, I also just didn't think that I was worthy. I did not believe that I was beautiful, and so I'd kind of hide, and I did not want to be seen. And I just would say to myself, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to boys. I don't want to get into that. And I struggled with this for years. I'm telling you, right into my mid to, I want to say late 20s. Yeah, I'm 29 now, turning 30. But at 27, I was still looking in the mirror and going, you're not beautiful. Like, you're not attractive. You are not all that. And yeah, social media, social expectations, the media, society definitely shaped that. And they also shaped my idea of now saying I want to glow up, which is what I want to talk about, the glow up culture and pretty privilege. Glowing up, right, is often seen as a transformation that makes someone more attractive, leading to more opportunities, success, and admiration. And the reality is that something like pretty privilege does exist, but it doesn't define your worth or ability to succeed. But again, society tells us a different story. They tell you that if you glow up and you become more attractive, you're going to attract more opportunities and success and admiration. Again, I'm not going to pretend like this isn't true. This is very true. We live in what I will call a very fickle society where people do value a person's looks more than other things. However, again, this is not something that you can rely on because it's constantly changing and it just is not going to stay the same all the time. And if also you're going to put all of your eggs in the basket of I'm going to work hard so that I can glow up, so that I can attract more opportunities, I think that you are doing yourself a great disservice and you are taking so much away from yourself in that you're not giving yourself an opportunity to work hard and let your work speak for you. Work hard and put your best foot forward and show up based on your intelligence, based on your ability to get something done, right? And so that's why I just absolutely refuse to allow my looks to be the thing that leads in conversations, in rooms that I step into. I consider myself to be a very intelligent, hardworking, committed, resilient, diligent person. And the fact that I am of a specific skin tone or that I have a specific shape of a nose or lips or a specific body type is not the thing that I want people to know me by. Firstly, not at all, but it's not the thing that I want to be invited into rooms for. I want my intelligence to speak for me. I want my qualifications, my skills, my experience to speak for me. And again, pretty privilege is a reality, but it's something that I'm not going to rely on, and it's not something that I'm going to encourage other young girls to rely on either. It's beautiful that you are beautiful. You are that way because God made you that way. We are all beautiful because we are all made in his image. And when he made you, he said this is good. It says so in Genesis. He was happy, he was satisfied. That means that you are enough. That means that your beauty is enough, right? And that is all great. But it doesn't define your worth. And it's not going to be the thing that's going to help you succeed at the end of the day. I just feel like that success will be success, but based on what? On your looks. And is that good enough? Well, certainly not for me. I mean, we see today how people go to the extremes of getting plastic surgery, veneers, skin bleaching, trying to fix themselves when they were never broken. Firstly, because they believe that the opportunities will come from that. Let's not lie, I know that some opportunities will come from that. But what kind of opportunities? That's also the question we need to ask ourselves. Because if you are doing all of these things to just be pretty, is the end goal so that you are walking into rooms with big names, big people, where your career will change and you want people to perceive you a specific way? Or is it just for getting money? You want to get money, you want to get with men that like beautiful women and make money off of that. Like get money, get material things. Because that's where it could end up going. And we're not going to pretend like it's not a reality. We see a lot of influencers. That's the lifestyle that they live. They go to these extremes to look beautiful because they want men that want beautiful women. But a man with money, not just any regular man, right? And these people, these beautiful women that are doing this, are not broken. They don't need to do all of that. We have a few influencers on our radar here in South Africa that I will not mention by name, because this is not an episode where I'm the whole podcast. We don't bash people, we don't judge. We do, however, highlight the realities of things and the impact that these things can have on an individual and on society in general, and how we need to change our brains, rewire our minds, and not allow social media or the media or these huge corporations to have as much of an influence as they have on us right now. The pressure to constantly improve our looks, that's exhausting, and that is emotionally damaging. And that's why I always say social media is something that you should not be on for too long. You need to get off. You need to also follow people that are in alignment with you. If you are constantly going to be following somebody who's always getting a new procedure every few months, it's going to influence you and impact you, and you are more likely going to want to go in that direction. You're going to start believing that your opportunities will come from that. You'll be more beautiful. People will like you more. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And you know what else isn't healthy? The fact that there is a romanticization around altering yourself. You look so good. Like, you'll see the comments on an Instagram post or even a TikTok post of a public figure who has gone in and done gotten plastic surgery. You look incredible. You look amazing. However, where is the conversation about the dangers of plastic surgery and the long-term impact? Because there are dangers, and I really want us to talk about those dangers. It is true that plastic surgery is often marketed as a confidence booster, but it does come with a lot of risks, right? And some of those risks include infection, excessive scarring, and nerve damage. And the nerve damage is the big thing for me, because we need to also remember that once a knife cuts through, your nerve is damaged. There is no way that they can avoid doing that. It's irreversible. Ask a woman who has gotten a C-section. Ask anyone who's maybe gotten a tummy tuck. Speak to those people. My mother had 2 C-sections, and she says, and she's a nurse, she says that nerve damage is inevitable when you do any operation. The part where the doctor operated on my nose, that part, the nerves, dead. And so the skin, don't even know how to explain that. The skin on that part of my nose, in winter especially, it gets so dry. It's like it's dead. It's like there's nothing happening. And those are the risks that you run when you get surgery, when you get plastic surgery. Another thing is poor outcomes that require multiple revision surgeries. Now, I know that this is not the case for everyone, but these are the realities that I think need to be spoken more about. This is the other side of it. The side that could potentially happen whilst you are healing or afterwards, right? Emotional distress when results don't match expectations. I mean, yeah, that is a reality. That's something that can happen. And then the long-term implications or complications like implant rupture, tissue death, or chronic pain. Again, these are the things that people are not speaking about. In the winter, I sometimes experience, I don't know if they're called phantom pains. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but where I was operated, I will get the most excruciating pain. I wouldn't have bumped into anything, none of that. And I will be in severe pain. And that is a long-term complication that I was informed of, that there will be pain, especially when the conditions change and it's not warm and it's cold. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the reason, but I do experience that. So that I can only imagine for somebody that goes and gets plastic surgery, what their experience is like, right? And that's exactly what I want people that go and get plastic surgery to talk about. The public figures, because they have so much influence, the influencers have so much influence. Please share what the actual healing process was like, what the doctor told you could happen, the potential complications, the long-term complications, the reality of that. What does that look like? How are you feeling? How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? I remember seeing an interview, and then I read an article about how very popular, famous singer Ozzy Osbourne, his wife, her implants, her breast implants ruptured. And there was just so much going on. She nearly died, she says. Had she not gotten to the hospital in time, she would have died. And so she said that she wishes that she hadn't done it, but more than anything, she just wishes that there was more honest conversation around the risks of plastic surgery. I looked into some statistics, and according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, over 15.6 million cosmetic procedures are performed annually, with complications occurring in about 1 in 500 surgeries. A study in JAMA surgery found that nearly 20% of people who undergo plastic surgery experience regret or dissatisfaction. And when it comes to psychological effects, studies have shown that many individuals who get plastic surgery continue to struggle with body dysmorphia and satisfaction, as the root cause of insecurity isn't addressed. And then some of them just end up needing to do one procedure after the other, because even though they get the one thing that they thought would make them feel good about themselves or make them feel whole, it doesn't. And that's really heartbreaking. It's so sad. The mental and emotional toll of altering one body can really last a lifetime. And that's why I may not be in support of plastic surgery. I may not agree with it. I'm not even going to get a rhinoplasty anymore. That is not happening. Not a single chance. I don't want to put myself in harm's way. I just feel like I would be putting myself in harm's way for absolutely nothing. My nose looks beautiful. I look beautiful. I am beautiful. I don't agree with plastic surgery for reasons that are not to address a deformity as a result of an accident or as a result of you getting sick and then, maybe sepsis or whatever, and you need reconstructive surgery on a certain part of your body. But I do believe that people have the right to do what they want. They have the freedom to do what they want. They can choose to do what they want to do. And so because we have those rights and we have those freedoms and people are going to do it anyway, I think that the information that should be put out there, people that undergo these procedures, should be honest, should be real. Don't romanticize it. Don't paint it as perfect. Be honest. Please be honest. You have so much influence. It does frustrate me that there are so many people that have this much influence, but they kind of go, it's not my problem. It's not my responsibility. Why should I be the one to explain anything to you? Why? Or they even lie and they say they didn't get it done. And I'm just like, why? Why are you doing that? That doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help anything. And these people that are part of your community, that are backing you, you are not showing up honestly. You aren't being real. You pick and choose what you want to be real about. You pick and choose when you want to invest in the community, for lack of a better term, right? And it's the same thing with getting procedures done. A big procedure that we've seen a surge in are veneers. I absolutely love my teeth now. Again, something I struggled with before. And I understand the importance of oral hygiene. And with all of the articles I've read, just even listening to dentists and oral hygienists talking about oral hygiene, I've come to understand that the the main thing that you need to do is to take care of your teeth, right? Just be mindful that you aren't eating a lot of sugar all the time. Brush your teeth twice a day. Some people prefer to floss. Others will even use mouthwash. But the main thing they will say to you is take care of your teeth and drink plenty of water and make sure that you're getting your teeth washed and getting your teeth checked every now and again. But what I have not heard is that you should get veneers if you are, I don't know, not happy with the shape of your teeth, or not happy that your teeth have moved, or you have back teeth. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I just looked into veneers a little bit, right? And I'm going to explain what veneers are and when they are necessary. And this is important because the surge we have seen in our celebrities, our influencers, even regular people getting veneers is very, very concerning, and it just seems like they are misinformed. So veneers are thin, custom-made shells placed over teeth to improve their appearance. They are typically made from porcelain or resin and are permanent. Now, to answer the question of when veneers are necessary: when teeth are severely discolored and resistant to whitening, or when teeth are chipped, broken, or irregularly shaped, when gaps between teeth need to be closed without orthodontics. All right? So it's not always necessary for people to get veneers. A person with teeth like mine, my teeth are quite sharp, right? They are not a square shape, I'm going to say. I think I have some that are a square shape. But on the most part, I'm just looking at my teeth right now, my teeth are quite sharp. Somebody once said I had vampire teeth, and that wasn't nice at the time. But now I'm just like, whatever. I love my teeth. I love my smile. If anything, I would want to get Invisalign. Yeah, that's what I hope I would need to get. I don't think I need braces. But I also could go to, for example, to another country, which is what a lot of the influencers and celebrities are doing. They go to other countries to go and get their teeth done. And I'm not sure if they're giving them the right information, or if they just want to take their money and they just want to be promoted on social media. But I've seen one particular influencer whose teeth were perfect before. Gorgeous. She's also altered her body quite a lot, and it's now become apparent that this is it's not just about that she's unhappy with something. It's just an insecurity issue and a self-esteem issue. And while she presents herself as very, very confident, she's probably just performing. It's a facade. She feels very, very not confident and not beautiful, even though she is one of the most gorgeous women in this country, right? So, yeah, she also went and she got veneers. And I'm of the belief that it was either business transaction, or these dentists are just not giving people the right information. You are not always going to need veneers. There are so many other options. There are too many downsides of veneers to just go and get veneers, right? So the downsides include that the process is irreversible. Your natural teeth must be shaved down. And if you go and Google what the process looks like, what they do to your natural teeth, you will understand why I say it's not necessary. I think it has to be very extreme conditions or an extreme situation. You know, like your tooth is chipped, but even then, there needs to be proper consultation, and I think due diligence, and a process that is followed by the dentist to find out, is this the only option? I just feel like this is a situation where this is the very last option, right? So, yeah, the process is irreversible. So go and Google, go and look up if you haven't seen it yet, what it looks like, what your teeth need to look like before they start the actual process. They can also be costly. So the numbers that I got, both South African numbers and in US dollars, it averages between $900 and $2,500 per tooth. So I guess it depends on whether it's composite or it is porcelain. Porcelain is on the more expensive side. And then in South Africa, I got some prices. It said on one website that composite veneers are priced approximately between 1,250 and 1,700 Rand per veneer, while the porcelain veneers range from around 5,500 to 7,000 rands per veneer, and they may need replacement every 10 to 15 years. So the thing with veneers is that it also, again, extreme situation. Some people will not get veneers in their whole mouth. I think when you go to a proper dentist, it will probably be for specific teeth. I'm not sure about how they work around that. But again, this is why we need to do research, and this is why we need to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And this is why we need to also go to medical professionals who are not opportunists and just don't care about the health, oral well-being of their clients. There are alternatives to veneers. Like I said, the first one is Invisalign. It's a clear aligner system that straightens teeth without braces, right? And this is a conclusion that a dentist will come to, a proper dentist, once they have done their testing, which is the due diligence I was talking about. Another option is teeth whitening, which is professional or at-home treatments to brighten teeth naturally. Another option is dental bonding. This is a less invasive procedure using a resin material to reshape or repair teeth. And then the other option is, and then another thing is, like I mentioned, good oral hygiene. It's brushing, flossing, and regular dental checkups to maintain natural teeth health. These options provide improvements without permanent alterations to natural teeth. So it doesn't always have to be on the more extreme end. It just has to be that there's something that's seriously wrong, and that you need to then resort to going and getting veneers. But it shouldn't be the first option. I just don't think that dentists are doing people justice and telling them that this is your only option, because it's so invasive, and it's forever. You can't take it back. You can't change it. That's the other thing for me, is that if you have regrets about it, you can't change it. You cannot change it. There's nothing you can do about it. And these are such big decisions that are, when we see them, people on social media that have gotten this procedure done, it just seems so insignificant or not as important, when it literally is. It's your mouth. It is your mouth. It's the thing that you use to speak. It's the thing that you use to communicate. It is that deep. So we just need to be very, very mindful. Even if you have thought about getting veneers, or you have said to yourself, I hate my teeth so much, I want to get veneers. No. Go to a dentist, a proper one, and speak to them first. Let them advise you, because there are many, 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 many other options. Okay? Also, like I said before, it's going to change. These trends, they come and they go. You know, people are changing how they look based on what society says, based on their own insecurities, right? People call you donkey teeth. They call you buck teeth. They call you crooked smile. But that's just their opinion. That is just their opinion. And if you give their opinion power in your life, it's going to take over. That's a thing I've had to come to a place of understanding, that if I give other people the power, the space, the time, their opinions are going to be more important than mine. And their opinions are going to lead me to make the decisions that I make about my body. Okay? Society constantly tells us what's better when it comes to beauty. Always. Always. We're always hearing something from them. Light skin over dark skin, a slim thick body over a thin or flat one. Yeah. The flat one is a term that I've heard quite a few times. I do think it's offensive, but I had to mention it because this is what we're hearing all the time. It is ridiculous though. Full eyebrows over thin ones, glass skin over acne prone skin, a small nose over a big one. And these beauty ideals are reinforced by media, advertisements, and celebrity culture. Yeah, celebrities, I also feel quite bad for them in that they are constantly being pressed by the culture that they exist in, and they do usually succumb to it. Beauty industries thrive on creating insecurities. Also another big problem, a big pandemic, beauty industry that could profit off of making women feel good about themselves. Instead, they do it the other way around. They profit from making people feel like they have to change themselves or alter their looks. And many of these standards are quite Eurocentric. They're favoring features that align with Western ideals, whilst marginalizing natural beauty, natural features in diverse cultures. I am not going to look like a white European woman. I never ever could. I am a black South African woman. I am Tswana. I have inherited my ancestors' features, and that is just what it is. And I promise you, okay, I promise you, I am not speaking loosely or carelessly. I'm not trying to make it seem like I have it worse off, or I've had it worse off, because obviously I'm not in the public eye. I'm not a public figure. I'm not an influencer, right? And I know that these people are in different cultures, in different spaces, so our experiences have been different. But I've had my fair share of people interrogating my looks, strangers, family members, people giving me unsolicited advice on my acne-prone skin, telling me that I should use this and do that, that having skin like that makes me unattractive. I have heard everything under the sun, okay? It hasn't been terrible to a point where someone has called me ugly, but I have had enough invasive moments in my life, a lot of them, to be able to say, I know that it can have a negative impact, because it has negatively impacted me in the past, right? But we also need to be honest and take accountability and responsibility as a society, where we have a hand in this, where we are not trying to stop it, where we are profiting off of it or benefiting off of it, right? Social media, for example, it further amplifies the pressures that already exist, as influencers and celebrities often undergo cosmetic procedures and heavy editing, presenting unrealistic images as natural beauty. Again, the influencers are usually using Facetune. They're editing their not clear skin. They are promoting skin products, having edited their pictures and saying, this is how you achieve flawless skin. And they are profiting off of these very concerning, ridiculous beauty standards. And so then that does make them a part of the problem, because they're not standing up against it. The ones that do it. Fashion and entertainment industries, they dictate beauty trends. They make certain body types, facial features, and skin textures more desirable at different times. The idea of ideal beauty is not based on any biological superiority, but on changing preferences shaped by industries like fashion and entertainment. And then society just also sort of absorbs it and moves in that direction. There's a pressure to conform to these beauty ideals. That's a reality, and it leads many, many people to undergo drastic measures, often at the cost of their health, happiness, and even financial stability. That's definitely a thing. A person will rack up hundreds of thousands of rands in credit to go and get a corrective surgery, to go and get plastic surgery done, to go get filler, or whatever it is, breast augmentation, a BBL. Again, it's not worth it. It is not worth it, and it's heartbreaking to see just how many people are changing themselves, and some even publicly saying, especially celebrities, saying that they have so many regrets about how they have changed their looks just so that they can fit in, so that they can fit into the beauty standard, which is, some of them go and get facelifts. They go and get all sorts of procedures done to clear their skin up. And as someone who has dealt with acne prone skin for all of my life, and I still do, I just have skin products that I use now that are really helping me keep it under control, I have, like I've mentioned, had to deal with a lot of unsolicited advice. Growing up, it was worse. And when my self-esteem was low and my self-confidence was non-existent, I would just let people talk to me however, give me advice, tell me what I need to use, what I should and shouldn't be eating. But now that I can stand up for myself, I simply tell someone that I don't want your advice. I didn't ask for it. Please leave me alone. That's really it. I don't get it as much anymore because even though I have acne-prone skin, the products that I use are really good. I use La Roche-Posay on my skin. They're really good and it has helped manage the acne that I have. But I've come to realize that my skin, also one of the biggest organs on the body, my skin is a gift, it is a blessing, and it is probably going to stay like this. It's not going to change. I will never achieve glass skin as the adverts that we see all the time, paid partnerships on social media that are done through social medias. I'm not going to achieve glass skin. The chances of me achieving glass skin are very slim. My skin I will say, my skin looks amazing. I can really get to glass skin level. I have gotten to glass skin level when I was using contraceptives, birth control. But otherwise, my skin is the way it is, and I've learned to embrace it and love it and appreciate it because it also does a lot for me. And I've also come to realize that genetics affect skin and acne. Genetics play a major role in determining skin type, texture, and susceptibility to conditions like acne. So when I came to a place of understanding that, I was like, okay, I get it. My mom had acne growing up. My dad had acne growing up. So I'm the one kid that inherited it. Well, my brother now, my sister has beautiful skin, glass skin. Some people inherit oily skin like myself. So I'm acne prone, oily, and I've got eczema. And this can lead to clogged pores and breakouts, while others may have drier skin that is prone to irritation. See, we're all different. Studies show that if one or both parents, like in my case, had acne, their children is more likely, one or two of their children or whatever, their child is more likely to develop it due to genetic predisposition to excessive oil production, hormone sensitivity, or low or slower skin cell turnover. Some people naturally have more melanin, which protects against sun damage, but may also lead to hyperpigmentation or scarring. Certain skin concerns like eczema, rosacea, and psoriasis also have strong genetic components. There again. And while skincare can help manage these conditions, no one has complete control over their skin's natural tendencies. My reality. And I've come to accept that, and I've come to embrace that, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. Okay? I just find myself in a place now where I am appreciative of what my body can do for me, and I just want to take care of it. I am not in the business of trying to alter it anymore. I'm not even going to get a rhinoplasty. My nose is beautiful, and I know I said that I would never ever go back onto Instagram, but I would like to announce that I am indeed back on there. I'm not going to get into it about what pushed me to decide to, what influenced me or encouraged me to decide to go back onto the platform, but I am mentioning that because I want you to go and look at the pictures that I've posted. I've recently gone back onto Instagram. My handle is at @tsegedzo_m. I will leave it in the show notes, but I mention it because I want you to go and look at the shape of my nose. I want you to go and look at the shape of my lips, my face. I want to get into the habit, or I've challenged myself. Let me rather say I've challenged myself to post without wearing any makeup. No makeup. I don't use filters. I dislike them so much. I don't use any editing apps because I've come to a place where I understand that I need none of those things. I'm beautiful as I am, and I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm encouraging the actual alteration of my face, of my skin, of my body. I want to see myself in my realist form. And that's it. And also, if anyone happens to come across my page, I don't want them to see, what do you call it? What do they call them? I can't remember the word, but I don't want a person to come across someone that is not me, a fake, because that's what all these filters will turn you into. It's just an unrealistic version of yourself that you probably couldn't even attain if you wanted to. So I stay away from the filters, and I do like to post a pretty picture of me with my face done, but I would like to post more of no makeup on my face. And I guess it's also just to encourage other people to feel proud of themselves and how they look, and to boldly present themselves as they are. Okay? And I also want us to rewire our brains. I want you to rewire your brain to see yourself as beautiful if that's something that you struggle with. The first thing that you're going to do is to recognize and challenge negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not pretty enough, say, I am not pretty enough. Ask yourself, says who? Replace negative self-talk with affirmation that emphasizes self-acceptance and self-worth. And just going back to the says who. If it's social media, if it's society, if it is an influencer who, because there are some of them, I've seen quite a few shocking videos when I was doing research for this episode. I've seen quite a few shocking videos of, she's an American girl, and she was saying that if you're ugly, you won't attract the right friends and you won't attract the right partner. So you need to do some things to make yourself look beautiful, because ugly people don't get anywhere. And her idea of being ugly is not having makeup on, not having your hair done, always having your hair up in a messy bun, not dressing up. I was like, I'm concerned. So if it's someone like that, then please bring yourself back and say, actually, that's a lie. Let me replace it with the truth of the fact that I am beautiful. I am just enough. Limit social media consumption. I say this all the time, but you have to be mindful of the accounts you follow. You need to unfollow pages that make you feel inadequate. Do not press follow. Do not interact. Don't. It's just going to make you feel worse. And take regular breaks from social media to focus on real life experiences and self-acceptance. Please. It cannot always be that you are on social media and you are always being influenced by other people, how they look, what they do. Okay? Surround yourself with positivity. Please build a support system that uplifts and encourages you. People that look at you and say, wow, you are gorgeous. That's very important. And engage with people who see and appreciate you for who you truly are, not just how you look. Please. All right? Please do not make friends based on looks. Do not get with a man based on looks, based on his looks, and then him being with you based on your looks. That is so fickle and it's so vain. There is no value there. And I'm not sure that that's the best idea. That's the best way to lead life with that kind of a perspective. Embrace your unique features. Please remind yourself that beauty is subjective. What's praised today may not be in fashion tomorrow. And that is exactly what I have been saying throughout the episode. Okay? Changes all the time. You are going to get tired if you are always going to want to fit into beauty standards. It's going to exhaust you. Every face, body type, and skin tone has its own distinct beauty. And that is what it is. That is all that there is to it. Practice self-care that feels good for you. Engage in activities that boost confidence, whether it's exercise, meditation, or skincare routines that make you feel good rather than pressured. Wear clothes and makeup, or no makeup, in a way that makes you feel empowered. Please. Don't, you know what I've been doing? Don't wear makeup because you want to hide your acne spots or your hyperpigmentation or your acne. Wear makeup because you like how it enhances certain features that you have, how it just is fun for you to do. Okay? Don't put makeup on because you're hiding, because you don't feel good enough. Acknowledge that beauty is more than skin deep. Focus on your own personality, kindness, and talent, on your character. These are the things that define your beauty far more than any physical trait ever could. Do not lay the foundations of your life on beauty. It's not enough. It never will be. I don't even think it makes up 5% of what you need to lead a successful life. It will only get you so far. And that is the reality of it. So the journey of self-growth is ongoing, and it's not just about a physical glow-up. You don't need to change yourself to be worthy, successful, or loved. And when I say you don't need to change yourself, I'm talking about your external looks. Of course, have good hygiene, take good care of yourself, but don't become so wrapped up in beauty and what it can or cannot do for you that you end up using filters and presenting a version of yourself that doesn't exist, presenting a version of yourself that you yourself could never attain. Please don't allow yourself to get sucked into that. I've been there before, and I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I didn't like the power that social media had over me. I didn't like the power that society had over me. Be mindful of what influences your self-perception and take control of how you define beauty for yourself. And just remember that beauty is not just external. It's confidence, it's kindness, it's authenticity. It is your character. Okay? This is definitely where we are ending this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoyed recording this episode, and I hope that you got something from it. I want you to take away the fact that there is so much more to external beauty. And I know that it can be difficult to comprehend that or to sit with that because society, social media, celebrity culture, influencer culture makes us believe otherwise. But there is so much more, far more. And we need to just remind ourselves of that constantly. And most importantly, I want you to remember that you are beautiful. You are perfect just as you are. You don't need to alter anything about yourself. You just need to continue to work on your holistic well-being and work towards becoming the best version of yourself. There is no amount of plastic surgery. There is no amount of getting certain parts of your body altered that is going to make you a better person. You have to work very hard towards that. That is all going to come from you. Okay? Please don't forget that A Cupful is on all listening platforms. Share with anybody that you know would really enjoy listening to this episode. I'm going to leave all the information in the show notes, including the handle to my personal page. I'm really, 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 really grateful that you have reached this point of the episode. Have a beautiful remainder of this week. Rest when you need to, work when you need to. Take good care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself and others. That is very, very, very important. And remember that you are perfect just as you are. You don't need to change anything about yourself. You don't need to change anything about yourself externally. Keep working towards becoming the best version of yourself, the best you that you can be for yourself and for your loved ones, the best you can be that will be able to show up and serve your purpose. And most importantly, don't forget to keep doing the things that fill your cup.